All right, today we're going to do some grounded exercises for hip mobility. So it might feel a little bit like a lot of rolling around on the floor. So I hope you're on a padded, carpeted type space. You might like to roll out some blankets or something just to give your knees a bit of support. Let's start as we always do, just a moment in stillness. You might like to just sigh out, create a little space, make some room for whatever is next. We'll just start with a little bit of spinal mobility. Let's drop an elbow into the rib. We might reach a hand across. Sweep that hand in front of the body and come straight over to the other side. Just let your spine be as fluid as can be. And come back through the center. We'll take one arm high. This time we'll take it across to the opposite knee. A little bit of a twist. Maybe one more each side. And meeting back in the center. Let's tuck our toes at the back. Lift our tailbone up. We're going to take our hands to our lumbar spine. Take a breath. As we sigh out, just leaning back. Inhale to come up. Exhale, leaning. Strong feeling in the front of your legs. You might like to keep doing a few more, or you might take your hands down to the heels in Ustrasana, our camel pose. And when you're ready, slowly coming back up, let's come down onto our sit bones. Take our feet in front. You might like to roll the wrists a little. Bring them down by the side of the hips. Let's take a breath. As we sigh out, lift the tailbone. Inhale, drop the hips back between the hands. Exhale, lifting, reaching. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Let's do maybe two more. And the last one. And we'll come back. Little bit of twist for the spine. Take your hands over to the side. Deep, deep sigh. Inhale back through the middle. Press through the sit bones, through the heels. Take your hands over to the side. You might like to explore a little bit. Keep the lower body heavy. Take the hands further back or further away. And one more. And then we'll come back. Open up the knees. All right, let's start doing a little bit of work for this hip mobility. First thing we're going to do is called sit to stand. Just as it sounds, we're going to see if without using our hands, we can go from sitting. You might like to lean back and then press through the feet and come up. Cross the legs again. And see if you can come back down without using your hands. So just have a play with this. Lean back, use a bit of momentum, lifting up. If you can't do it now, it's not a failing of your body. It just means we need to bring a little more attention, a little more practice to it. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow, maybe next week. As you keep going through this movement, see if you can maybe pause at any point in the movement. Let's do maybe one more. And then we'll come back down. Let's roll onto our knees, hands and knees. You might just like to warm up our wrists a little more, just shifting your weight. You might turn the fingers towards you or out to the side. You might even turn your hands over. All right. Let's walk our hands out a little further. We're going to come up into a downward facing dog. Press through the heels. When you're ready, walk the heels towards the hands. Take your time. When you get close, you might just take a deep sigh. Let's walk our toes and our heels a little wider. We're going to drop our tailbone down into a squat. Arms might come together. Take a breath here. When you're ready, hands come back to the floor. Lift the tailbone up. Toes and heels can come back in. We're going to walk our feet back now, back towards our downward facing dog. And when you arrive, you might just take a few breaths. This time we'll walk the hands back towards the feet. You might hang. Deep sigh. Let's straighten our right leg and we're going to lift our right arm up, stacking our shoulders and then sighing out. Straighten the left leg, the left arm comes up. Sighing out, keep going side to side. Whatever range of movement you have, roll the shoulder back. Maybe one more each side. Next time our head and arm comes down, let's heel toe wider again. Toes finish on the outside. We're going to drop our tailbone down, arrive back in our squat. You might bring your palms to heart center, maybe feeling of pulling into the elbows and pressing the elbows into the inner leg. Take a breath here. And when you're ready, hands come back. Let's lift the tailbone up. We'll walk the hands forward again. Arrive back in our downward facing dog. When you're ready, drop the knees down. You might like to come into a full child's pose. Arms beside the body. Everything heavy. All right, let's Meet back in our all fours shape. Make sure your hips are stacked over your knees and shoulders over your hands. We'll take our right knee out and we'll take some circles. Explore any range of movement you have in your hip. You might like to change direction. And then we're going to take that hip all the way over the body. Foot comes down to the ground. Raise the right arm up. Raise the tailbone up. And take a breath here if you can. When you're ready, hand drops down. Roll the body back onto all fours. And then maybe a little wave the hips. Left side, let's open up the hip. Maybe changing directions again. Let's take the knee all the way over the body, foot to the floor. Maybe the right, left hand comes up, tailbone comes up. Reach up as high as you can. And when you're ready, rolling back. Let's walk the hands forward, drop the shoulders down. Now we're in a puppy pose. Hands come back towards the body. One more downward facing dog. One more walk in towards the hands. Take as much time as you can. It's just more steps. When you get there, a deep sigh. Take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, draw the palms together. Shoulders in. And when you're ready, palms come down. Let's heel toe wider again. Drop the tailbone down. One last squat. And when you're ready, we're going to drop down onto our tailbone, lift our feet up. We're coming into Navasana, our boat pose. You might like to challenge yourself, take your feet a little higher, keep your thighs drawing in, shoulders heavy. And when you're ready, let's draw our knees in, roll back, and come back to our boat pose. You might like to keep doing this, massaging the spine. Keep breathing. You might like to challenge yourself by extending the legs a little further or a little lower. And maybe one more. And when you're ready, arms can come down and just open through the hips. Let's come back down onto our spine and we're going to draw the knees in, keep the head and tailbone heavy, a little rock side to side. And we're going to continue with that rock and roll motion. Come back this way. All right, let's cross our legs. Let's press our hands into the ground, lift the tailbone, use the momentum to come up. And this time we're going to extend into the shape of Janu Sirsasana. So one leg straight, one leg in to the side of the body. Roll the elbow down. Open through the side body. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll back onto our spine and come back, same shape. Keep rolling. Let your body ease into the movement. We'll just do one side at a time. You might start to notice your body allows you to sink a little deeper. And we'll come back, open through the hips. And let's go to the other side, rolling back, extending the other leg, letting the body slowly ease into the twist through the side. And then we'll come back up, opening through the hips. Take a moment just to notice how your body feels. All right, we're going to come up into a zigzag kind of shape. So one leg with hip extended outward and one with it extended inward. And then this one we're going to kind of just roll our hips over, come up onto our knees, drop the tailbone down, roll the knees over, come up onto our knees. So take your time. Keep your hands away from the floor if you can. You might notice all the various elements of ligaments, tendons, muscles, joints involved in this movement. Such a simple movement, but there's a lot going on. Do one more each side. And then we'll come back down. And again, just let your body relax for a moment. Let's roll onto, let's come back into our Janushasana shape. So one foot comes into the thigh, one toe rolled up. And we're just going to roll our elbow in front of the knee. Head can be heavy. Reach over. Take a few breaths to really arrive and sink deeper into this shape. We'll take our hand behind the body. Now we're going to lift our tailbone, big long line down the side. Drop the tailbone down again. This time, back hand is going to reach over, big twist. Nose towards the knee. And then we come back up. Let's do that whole sequence one more time. Roll the elbow down. Maybe push the hand past the ear. Windmill both hands behind, maybe reaching, lifting. Drop the tailbone down. Now we do our big twist across the body, nose to knee. And we'll come up tall. Open up, shift to the other side. Let your body sink into it. Hips are warm, allowing you a little more movement, a little more fluidity. Windmill the hands behind the body. Let's lift up, reach over. One comes down. Twist, reaching across, nose towards knee. And we'll do one more time. Reaching over, lifting up. Dropping down, twisting. And then coming up tall. Open through the hips. Let's come into all fours. We'll step our left foot outside the hands and then drop the right knee back. So we're in a deep lizard lunge, stacking shoulders over wrist. Just let your body ease into this. We're going to very slowly walk our hands towards the back and then take our tailbone towards our heel. Turn the other leg up and take a breath. And then we'll walk the hands back, come back into our deep lizard lunge. Let's turn again. Drop the sit bones to the heel, walk your hands around. And then we come back to our lizard lunge. Let's go all the way this time. We're going to walk our hands all the way to the other side. Come back into a lizard lunge. We'll take the leg back, sinking down. When you're ready, tailbone comes to heel. Roll the toes up. Walk your hands around. Just keep exploring. Last one. And back to the center. We'll take one last downward facing dog. This time we'll roll forward into a plank. You might like to drop your knees. Bend your elbows, come all the way down. Inhale to curl the body up. And then we'll press ourselves back up. Maybe one last wiggle of the hips. Maybe a curl of the spine. Any movement that works for your body. The hands back, we'll arrive back in a seated position. You might like to roll the shoulders. And we'll come hands to heart center. Might like to just notice the feeling in your body, a little more fluidity maybe. And as always, just moment in gratitude for our decision to practice today. Let's bow to each other.